Can you tell me a little bit about the Scarlet Letter?
The Scarlet Letter involves a girl who commits adultery, or a cheater, kind of, and she has to wear an emblem that's scarlet on her chest that says A, and walk around and be embarrassed all the time and constantly reminded of her sin.
Okay, Bill.
I actually have the exact same thing to say about that.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, it's about that, and I like the way that Hawthorne explains the way how Hester looks, so it makes it seem like how it shows how embarrassing the whole ordeal is because she's so beautiful and elegant, but just one little thing kind of ruined her life almost.
Yeah, it's fine. So can you guys tell me one at a time a little bit what you think the Scarlet Letter is about?
Would you like to start? You can start. I got this, yeah. So, the premise of the book is Hester had an illegitimate child, and basically that was a no-no in her community, and they just outcast her. But I think Hawthorne does a really good job to portray her in a positive light, so the reader sympathizes with her and see that it's not really a big deal, but the community thinks so.
What the book is about, it's about Hester who committed adultery, so then she has to live the rest of her life in shame because the rest of her community, thinks of looks downward, and she wears the A thing. So after what she did, she has to deal with it forever.
Thesis. The Scarlet Letter proves to be a timeless classic because of its recurring themes of body-pleasing, slut-shaming, and rigid misogyny that ring true with young women and all people of all ages in every generation. With Facebook and Twitter and all other sorts of ways of connecting, slut-shaming and body-pleasing have taken on whole new avenues, just, if not more, harsher than the past. We're on a mission to find out what this generation has used as its Scarlet Letter. In order to explore this thesis, we're going to have to start by defining a few things. First and foremost,
A slut.
Slut.
Slut. The Slut Edition.
the definition for the word has changed to the ages. And then there's two definitions to consider, theirs and ours. So let's start defining, starting with theirs. Although it isn't outright spelled in the book, it's clear to any reader that the town views anyone who deviates from their strict sexual rules as a so-called slut. Further reading also proves that physical appearance is important to this definition. On page 51, the author describes Hester as tall with a figure of perfect elegance on a large scale. She had dark and abundant hair, so glossy that it threw off the sunshine with a gleam, and a face which, besides being beautiful from regularity of feature and richness of complexion, had the impulsiveness belonging to a marked brow and deep black eyes. Of course, the word slut is never used in the novel, but on page 49 it's made quite clear how the townspeople feel about Hester. One judgmental townswoman groans, "If the hussy stood up for judgment, would she come off with such a sentence as the worshipful magistrates have awarded?" Thanks to this, we have a clear definition of not only how the town feels about Hester, but how they feel about sexual deviance in total. Now, let's describe it from our point of view.
A slut is
I would say a slut is
be someone, either man or woman, who in a way thinks poorly about themselves.
If I was someone from a different planet, could you define a slut for me?
That is someone who sleeps around a lot and then tries to get attention for it.
As a person who kind of cheat on someone else that they're with.
Status or to get attention.
or someone who does a lot of philandering.
Having low self-confidence and sort of looks at themselves as being, in a sense, greater than everybody else, but it's
Like a girl who maybe has sex with guys for attention, or has sex with guys for attention, or for I don't know, maybe she just enjoys it.
Someone who engages in infidelatory actions.
At the same time, sort of willing to give themselves up to get a higher social status or to get attention.
Someone who sleeps around with many people, whether it be a girl or a boy.
Another quality would be sort of a sense of, what's the opposite of modesty? Sort of,
Like pride.
yeah, I guess a sense of pride in what they do, even though it's not good what they do. They have a sense of pride that they would, I guess, flaunt around.
Someone who draws attention to themselves.
It's usually just like a woman who just sleeps around, I guess.
Goes around with lots of different people.
They cheat.
As someone who doesn't care about like their body kind of and just does anything that you need them to do.
Would you say that Hester Prynne is a slut?
I don't necessarily think she's a slut. For the time period, it might have seemed that she was. However, now in today's standards, it's a bit more loosely characterized. Because she did, in a sense, believe that her husband was dead. And although her actions at that time might seem wrong and against their morals, it's not like those behaviors take place in her life daily.
I would not say that.
Yeah, not would I.
By our standards or by their standards?
By our standards. In Puritan times, she probably would be considered a slut.
Yeah, I could see, back in Puritan times, she would definitely be a slut, but today girls do things that are a lot worse than that, I would think. And guys too.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think today she wouldn't be a slut.
I don't think she would be a slut because, I mean, she did cheat on her husband and she did commit adultery, but if you compare that to today's time,
No, because she did it once and it resulted in this. And her having birth to Pearl.
So Hester Prynne cheated on her husband, and so like cheating is another definition of what we say is a slut. So do you still don't think she's a slut?
I definitely think it was wrong and it was slightly slut-ish, but she did it once. She feels guilty about it.
to ask somebody in today's time, if you were to call her a slut, is sort of, it would be different to ask somebody in that time than to ask us, but my answer, I wouldn't.
I mean, I don't think someone actually, like, thinks of themselves as a slut, but obviously the community does of her, but I think the way, like, her attitude about it is, like, actually admirable, because she really doesn't care. Like, she obviously went and wanted the child, so she had it. I mean, back then they didn't really have any techniques to, like, remove a child, but yeah, she, like, wears the A proudly. She knows she's an adulterer, technically, but she just doesn't care. And I think it's the attitude of, like, that she carries that makes her admirable.
Each of our participants reluctantly stated that they would not classify Hester Prynne as a slut by our standards, and we already know how her townspeople feel about her. However, Hester Prynne meets every single one of the previously outlined qualities of a so-called slut defined by our previously mentioned participants. In order to examine the relatableness of the Scarlet Letter, we have to examine what it truly means to be slut-shamed.
Big, fat, society-wide problem called slut-shaming.
Jenna, when you shame sluts for making stupid decisions,
slut-shaming is the unfortunate phenomenon in which people degrade or mock a woman because she dresses in tight or revealing clothing, enjoys sex, has sex a lot, or may even just be rumored to participate in sexual activity.
Because there are women that speak out about experiences that have happened to them, about their rape experiences, and time and again, everyone tells them, well, it was your fault. You shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done that. No.
Slut-shaming is when we insult a woman because she expressed her sexuality in a way that we don't like or approve of.
The message that slut-shaming sends to women is that sex is bad, having sex with more than one person is horrible, and everyone will hate you for having sex at all.
Historically, there was a strong demand that women not have sex until they were married. We said, women, you don't give away your precious vagina gift until you're under the ownership of a man. We've opened our minds a little bit since then. Now society says, okay, fine. If you're not gonna wait till you're married, you at least better love him. Bottom line throughout the ages is that sluts are different kinds of girls who do bad stuff and disobey.
You go on to characterize these women as being illogical, irrational, having low self-esteem and low self-respect, and for negatively competing with other women.
1. Sluts don't respect themselves. 3. That sluts are really just stupid women, and their behavior doesn't deserve our respect.
You describe regular girls, such as yourself, as being something different from these sluts. Good things happen to regular girls, and sluts get hurt. By saying this, you're keeping the stereotype alive that women who have a lot of sex are helpless and weak and stupid and wanton temptresses. And when women say that about other women, it supports that kind of thinking in men. And when men don't see sluts as real of people as regular girls, then for some men that makes it okay for them. It helps them justify hurting or disrespecting these women.
The difference is that for women, promiscuity is considered a stupid decision. And when you make bad decisions, you pay the consequences, like losing everyone's respect, being shamed, being called a slut, being bullied, and perhaps even being assaulted or raped.
But these sluts hear words like yours and they internalize it, blame themselves for their assault, and feel like if they had made better decisions, they wouldn't have been raped.
Got a little soul, the world is a cold, cold place to be. Want a little warmth, but who's gonna save a little warmth for me? We know the fire rates, some believers, all of the sinners.
We already knew that our country had a strong streak and history of misogyny, but by giving these definitions, it's just made even clearer, especially through this well-known novel. The goal of this film was to examine the continued relevancy of this novel through generation and generation. Our definitions and our participants have made it clear that this book maintains its relevancy because the phenomenon of slut-shaming is maintained. Hester Prynne being a prime example of a victim of slut-shaming. I mean, the book is literally a definition for it. The town feels that Hester acted in a way that did not fit within her sexual boundaries, and they saw fit to shame her for the rest of her life, using the Scarlet Letter. Although we found what we were originally looking for, we would be remiss if we didn't take the time to understand and try and see what our generation uses as its Scarlet Letter.
Do you think that we have, as a society, our own version of the Scarlet Letter, like something that identifies someone who's done something promiscuous?
Yes.
Different groups don't hang out with different people because of how they act outside of school and whatever they choose to do. But especially so nowadays with social media so active.
Just calling blame on them.
I wouldn't say that. I say that it happens, but there's nothing strongly that identifies them out of a crowd.
Like, I feel like society looks down on sluts, but I mean, if that's what you want to do, like, do it.
Until you get to know the person and what they do, I don't think you could completely know.
Yeah.
Can be interpreted in different ways.
Nice.
And there are definitely rumors that go around today, even some things that aren't true.
I think you maybe could, depend on what they wear
You
too.
could use inferences, but
What would you say is the Scarlet Letter of our generation?
Like if a teenage girl was just pregnant.
Oh, okay.
She just like showed.
That's like her Scarlet Letter.
Yeah, and she has to live with it. She has to live through like the side effects of having a baby and dealing with it economically, politically, socially.
There's like some type of mark on them that lets people know that they're a slut. Socially.
I'd say so.
Yeah, I think just rumors today kind of
Rumors.
are a Scarlet Letter for people, yeah, because if there's rumors going around someone, everyone hears about it, so that's what I think would characterize someone as a
would you guys say that that we police bodies more or less than the people in Hester's town?
I think people should just be able to live their lives the way they want to. Like if they want to have sex and be a slut, then I'm not gonna go out of my way to change it, because it's not like that big of a deal. Like it's not like they're going and killing people. They're doing something that has to do with them and the person.
Rumors, pregnancy, and general being othered by the rest of society are all things Hester Prynne faced. With a yawning generational gap in terms of progressiveness, there truly is no one factor that serves as a scarlet letter for our generation. But that does not mean our generation doesn't suffer from slut shaming, or our own version, whatever it may be, tangible or not, of the scarlet letter. It drives us to wonder that if in some distant perfect future there is no misogynistic institutionalization of slut shaming, will the popularity of this book fade away too, with an era of hating women?